about 2.5 years ago or so, we started to notice that we weren't immune to the mass exodus of some of our young people out of our churches.
Otherwise known as the millennial fleet.
Yes.
You guys are familiar with that term?
And we got to, our first reaction was, oh, the young adult ministry really needs to step up their game. But then we took a step back and said, they don't know how to do what we do, which is where these young people are. As far as they are on social media, they are on videos, they are on all of these platforms that our young adult ministries, as pastors, bless their hearts, don't know how to do. And so it became
Not all, but some.
Yes.
It
became very obvious that if in the conference, if we were going to reach the young people where they are, it had to come from our department. And so we went to our administration and we said, we have this dream, this vision, this hope, this idea, but there are 2 of us. And right now we are maxed to the max. We can't do anything more. And if we want to do something that is pretty fairly drastic for these young people, we have to have help. So they very much were on board, thank the Lord, and said, okay, what do we have to do? So with a combination of us cutting back on some of the things that weren't working, we talked about, those things at the beginning, saved us a lot of money. And then a combination of...
Which is funny because one of the things that we did to save money was we went to a digital form of our publication, our quarterly publication. We're just now getting emails from church members, why did my subscription stop?
2.5 years.
2.5 years later, when we let them know for an entire year going into this that we were going digital, and if they wanted it in print, they had to subscribe. And 2 years later, they're asking us and just noticing.
Which is good that they're noticing, but it's a little long.
But, yeah. So we do get the flack when we do stop something, like you were mentioning with the bulletin. We hear about it.
Well, what we did with the action, we didn't go completely digital. We did do a hybrid where people could subscribe to it and we send them the print version if they want it. So we have this kind of mishmash going on, but it works for us right now. So anyway, we did cut that and we cut a lot of the bulletin insert that we were sending out and a lot of the things that we were spending money on. And that combined with an internship from the North American Division, we were able to get a 2-year intern to help us out with this new project.
And it's disheartening for us when we spend so much time designing stuff to walk into a church and see the church members just take it out of their bulletin and put it on the pew and not even look at it. And you just want to grab it and shove it in their face and say, look at this, I worked so hard on this, please pay attention.
You don't know who you're sitting next to. We have a lot of angst over that, just in case you didn't pick up on that. So anyway.
It's also a lot of money to do that.
It is. So what we came up with is what we call Project Refresh. And the idea behind Project Refresh is we wanted to turn all of these stereotypes, these feelings, this idea that the church doesn't care about us young people, the church doesn't want to do anything for us, the church doesn't really have anything that's interesting to me. We wanted to turn all of that on its head and say, yes, we do. We want to reach out to you. We do care. We want to find things that you're interested in and help you to become a better Christian, help you to become a better Adventist.
And there are ministries out there that have stuff, but nothing that edifies the church. It's not coming from the church. And so that also played into our reason for doing this out of the conference versus a subsequential ministry.
So basically, we are breaking new ground here with this, and we're excited about it. And so that's why we wanted to come and share it with you today. And we feel like it's not only something that we're doing out of the Carolinas, it's something for everybody. You guys, we hope, will be able to take this back to your churches, to your young people, and share with them what is coming out of Project Refresh and use it for your help in reaching these young people in your church and those that have left your church, possibly. So what we did was we started with a website, and it's theprojectrefresh.org. I'm not sure if we have it up there anywhere, so might want to write it down, theprojectrefresh.org. And these little phone clips on your tables, that's the Project Refresh logo, and you guys are welcome to take that home with you today. It goes on the back of your phone, obviously, if you didn't know how to use that. But anyway, we came up with a bunch of different shows, vlogs, podcasts, videos, all of the above, to try to hit that demographic. And we'll share with you what each one of those are. Courtney, you want to take this one?
Sure. Forward is a blog. It's written by one of our young adult pastors, Ryan Hodgins.
Two now.
Oh, two?
Courtney
Jimenez and Ryan Hodgins. They also do take submissions from our young adults if they want to contribute to one of the posts. But it's a weekly post, and it's generally around a devotional thought, something that's timely, something that our young adults are dealing with. And so that's Forward.
The Loop is a fun one. It is adulting 101, basically. How to buy your first car, how to be a good roommate, starring Rachel Weaver. She and another one of our young pastors did a really fun video on how to be a good roommate. But it was all about what not to do as a
We have
roommate.
two of our former interns here in the room right
Yeah.
now.
So the idea is it's kind of a gateway, sort of. It's something that's not overtly Adventist or even Christian, but it's something that will catch people's attention of that age range, because a lot of times, that we've done stuff on how to fill out your HR paperwork, how to do your taxes, how to get your first apartment, how to move, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of them. And so the idea is that if we can capture some attention by giving them information that they need to survive as an adult, then they will then find out what else we have to offer in Project Refresh. So that's what the loop is all about, is keeping us in the loop about all these different things.
Okay, our next one is called Echo, and this is a simultaneous video and podcast. And the premise behind this is we are currently in a culture where we don't have conversations. If you don't agree with me, I shut you down, and I don't listen to you. And that has really hindered our ability to sit down and have a conversation with somebody with an opposing view of us. And so Echo is actually hosted by Ryan Becker, who had been one of our pastors and now is a recruiter for Southern. And so he comes back and does this show with us. We just finished season 3 on Friday airing, and so we're in hiatus right now while we're recording season 4 this next week. But he brings 2 guests, and the juxtaposition is either age, gender, or conservative versus progressive. And so then they pair the topics up depending on who the guests are. And
these are also really good conversation starters.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are involved with young adult ministry, or if you want to share this with the person that is in your church, these videos can be shown either in whole or in segments. They're only about 20 to 25 minutes long, and they can start a conversation in your Sabbath school class as a young adult class, or if you have a Vespers for young adults, it could be something you could use there. So that's a great tool for churches to use, but we also just invite you to share it with young people as well. And we
even had a special one this last season. We had a pastor from a regional conference and a pastor from the Carolina conference sit down and talk about why they're needed and how we can better work together, why they were created, why they exist, and what the future looks like. And it was a really interesting conversation. That one is an hour long because we could not do that one in 20 minutes. So it's...
there's a lot of different topics. How do I avoid burnout as a leader? How do I become a leader in my church? How do Rachel's done a couple of them for us.
There's one on tithing, the importance of tithing.
So it kind of, the idea is to touch on some of those things that young adults are questioning about the church. We poll people and get their questions and then try to break them apart and dig into them and find out what the root of it is. Tiny Chair Talks is probably our most popular show that we have, and it centers around the visual hook of two tiny little children's chairs. So we have these two little children's armchairs that we force adults to sit in, and it's really funny, just letting you know. It's hilarious.
It's calling the elephant out in the room because these are uncomfortable conversations in uncomfortable chairs.
Exactly.
But, sidebar, they are actually kind of comfortable. They just look uncomfortable.
Just don't tell anybody that.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes information.
Yeah.
But yes, these are very uncomfortable things like sexual orientation, a sexual assault, jewelry. Is it okay or not okay? Dancing. How much dancing is too much? What kind of dancing is too much? Music. We talked about the women's ordination issue in this show, and then the different sides and the miscommunication that comes from either side. So this show really just hits it head on. And the reason why we're doing that is for the obvious reason that there is a lot of people that want to and need to talk about these things, but also we want to do it in a way that brings the church into the light, but in a good way. We don't want there's a lot of negativity out there about the church right now. And we want to just show that, yes, the church has its flaws. There are things that we should do differently, but we're trying. We really want to do God's will, and we want to do what He wants us to do and grow as a church for Him. So we're hoping that these kinds of things that we're talking about will kind of remove the haze and sort of let people see the church in a different light.
And I forgot to update this one. We actually have two hosts now for this show, Ray Gray and Courtney Jimenez, who also helps with Forward. As I Am is dual purpose in the title. It's Here I Am, Here's My Story. It's a testimonial video, but it's within the context of Here I Am, trying to be like I am. And so we started with sorry, this is just getting really loud. Can you still hear me? Okay. We started with people from the conference office, our officers and other personnel, because unfortunately, there's a misconception there where if you've made it to the conference office, you can't relate to the local church level because you must not have gone through the struggles that I went through.
It's the most holy place, right?
Yes. Ivory pedestal, that whole thing. And that's just not true. Our VP's story is one of the most gripping that we've done. He actually lost his first wife to cystic fibrosis. And so he talks about his journey through that and coming out on the other side of that. So we all have stories. And
he was in a rock band when he was a teenager.
Well, so that's just a teenager.
Well, and a young adult, yes. So when people hear that about our executive secretary, they're like, "What?" Yeah. And so it just kind of it makes us look at people differently.
If you pause the video when it shows the picture of his band, because it does go by kind of quickly, he's the one in leather pants. So, and long hair.
His name is Gary Moyer, in case any of you need to look him up. But we do share a lot of testimonials, and they're very, very impactful. We're moving from our conference officers down to our conference people that work in the office, and then we've moved now to some of our members that have pretty amazing stories. So that's definitely one you're going to want to check out.
Walking Free, we've still got it listed right now. It's unfortunately, I think it's on its way out. We've kind of lost energy, our hosts have lost energy, and so we've been trying to get this back up. I know. But this was geared towards young men. There are a lot of men's podcasts out there of how to talk about stuff, mental men's mental health, there's a lot of stuff that is already out there, but none of it has the basis and the foundation of God. And so that was our idea behind this one. And we actually won an award for this last year. And so it's kind of hard to see this one kind of go because...
If we do it, we'll have to get another host. Our host is too busy to do it. But it is something that is available still. So you can still get it.
That's why it's still up on the screen.
Yeah. It's just that we aren't currently creating content for it. Yes. I've heard of that.
Right here.
He does it right now with Right Now Media, and that's his passion. The men's ministry stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So.
And last but not least, what if? This one hasn't launched yet, but we are in the process of working with Southern Adventist University to get this going. What it is a vlog that it's a self-help experiment. So say I want to know, what if I eat better? Or what if I get up early to do my devotionals? Or what if I give someone flowers every day for a week? Or what if I dress more casually every day? Or what if I dress more dressy every day? What happens when that happens? Have anybody seen those BuzzFeed videos about my mother dressed me for a week and this is what happened, kind of thing? That's the idea behind this, except in a positive way. So the idea is to get young people doing these positive experiments with their life, and then we'll share them as a vlog on this show. So it's a dual purpose. It gets these kids doing something positive and thinking about making changes, because we all have something, right, that we're thinking about, oh, I really should do this or that or whatever. And then we take that and then hopefully inspire other young people to do something similar. And then on the flip side of it, as a student's point of view, they get experience with social media vlogging and stuff like that for their classwork. So we're working on that now. And in fact, Rachel just helped me this last week to present that to the student body in the School of Journalism and Communication there. And so they're going to start melding that into their curriculum there so that they can start doing those experiments for us. And I think it'll be a really cool thing, fun and interesting, hopefully, and inspiring.
And one reason for reaching out to Southern for this is, again, it comes down, there's two of us that are right now, all of this that we're sharing with you is in addition to what we do for the conference. So this is the late nights, this is the weekends. Actually. What?
3, including Siobhan.
Oh, and Siobhan, our 2-year intern. And so we can't continue to create more content without help. Yeah. And so that's one reason for us reaching out to Southern and other bodies as yourselves in helping supply content and using this as a way to funnel that content out. So did you guys grow up with an hour like on the radio? I love that. Well, when Uncle Dan passed away a couple years ago, they weren't sure if Your Story Hour was going to continue or how that was going to look. And so there was a hole. And so I went into Becky's office. I'm like, there's this hole. We have a children's ministries director who is very passionate about kids. Let's do a podcast for kids.
And
because
meanwhile,
there's virtually nothing.
Unbeknownst to him, I had been looking for something online on podcasting for my then 8-year-old daughter, and there wasn't anything, no Christian stories on the podcasting apps anywhere.
And so we went to our children's ministries director, pitched this idea, and then we've connected both with the NAD's review office that still holds all the copyrights to their books, and we've partnered also with Pacific Press Publishing Association, long name, and they provide the stories for us. They own the audio that we create for this, but they've allowed us to do this. And in just over a year, we now are at 160,000 listens on 6 continents, and in our 16th season or 15th season.
That translates between 2 and 2,000 and 3,000 listeners per week on this. So we're really excited about that. We feel like it's something that is a need that people want, and it's just so simple. She just reads the stories.
And getting an email from iHeartRadio Podcast asking for us to submit this for them to distribute was kind of a huge highlight as well.
This one hasn't launched yet. This is called Joy in the Weeds. It's our women's ministries podcast. Our women's ministries leader is Beth Grissom. She's there on the left. And then Kim Cove is there with her, the crazy one on the right. And I'm sure she hasn't seen that yet. I just did this artwork the other day.
Oh, she's seen it.
Oh, she has?
Yeah, she's seen
Did
it.
she say, oh my goodness?
No, Beth signed off on it.
Okay, good. I was worried I'd have to redo that. But anyway, so the idea is that we have joy amidst our sorrows, amidst the things that happen in life that, are crazy. And it's not about pot, no.
Even though I'm sure some people find some joy there. But that's not what it's about.
It might get us a few more subscribers, though.
It may.
So anyway, the idea is that they are going to talk to women about women's issues and just interview people and get their take on things and get their experiences. So that might be something that would appeal to some of the women out there, including yourselves. So these are all of these things that we've just mentioned are available online. So they're not just for the Carolinas. You guys can have access to them and share them with whoever you want. We want the ministry to be effective. We want people to, again, feel like we care about them. So that's why we do this. We are syndicated on Haystack TV with Tiny Chair Talks. We have been talking with Hope Channel, Hope TV, for Tiny Chairs and the As I Am program, so they're hoping to syndicate those on that. And we are in partnership with Southern Adventist University, the Marketing and University Relations in the School of Journalism and Communication, and we have an agreement with Pacific Press. So we are super pumped about this, and we hope that it will make a change and inspire you guys as well to know that it's not impossible. If 3 people can do all of this, you guys can definitely do something in your church and get something started. And we are more than happy to help you, and there's experts here in the room as well that can help you get started if you want to do something similar. But all of this is available on our website, theprojectrefresh.org. So just a little bit about how we do what we do. We shoot everything in blocks. So if we're doing a show, say Tiny Chair Talks, we will get all of our hosts lined up, all of our guests lined up, do travel, everything for a 2-day shoot. And it is intense, and we do it back to back to back to back to back. But it allows us to get that all done at once. We do as little editing as possible. Click to the next one. We use a multimedia switcher so that we can keep from having to edit the 2 cameras. We actually have 3 cameras. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to spend time in post-production doing all that because that's where the time intensity is. And so we just use a multimedia switcher, do it all at once, throw the beginning and the end on, maybe make a few tweaks here and there, and we're done. So that's how we do. Basically, we do now 48 episodes for Echo.
One season of Echo is between 20 and 22 episodes. It depends on the topic and how many guests we get lined up.
So 40 to 40-something episodes of Echo, and the same with Tiny Chair Talks in the year with 3 people. So that's our trick right there. And then we also do scheduled release dates. Courtney uploads everything all at once, for the most part.
For the most part.
And then it all releases on a schedule.
When you have sponsors, you have to get them to approve each episode to make sure that you can put their stamp on it. So sometimes there is a delay in getting everything uploaded at once because you're waiting for them to respond.
Yes. So that helps us out a lot because we don't have to think. Once we've got everything up there, it just automatically starts releasing on its own. We just have to remember to share it on social media and all these other places. And then we also have a couple of volunteers. Ryan Becker does all of his scheduling and everything for Echo, and he recruits all of his volunteers. And then I have another person, one of our pastor's wives, actually helps us with Tiny Chair Talks and schedules all of that. So that helps us out a lot. And then, of course, we have Siobhan Petgrave, who is our 2-year intern with the North American Division. He's sadly ending his term in March, but we have enjoyed having him, and hopefully we'll be able to continue with someone else. And then obviously we use what we shared with you today to help us save time, and the Lord helps us. Basically, that's really what it boils down to is, sometimes we look at our to-do list and we're like, how on earth are we going to get all of this done? But somehow it all gets done, and it's just a miracle. It really is.
And the to-do list that we use is actually called Wonderlist. It's an, yeah.
I can't believe I didn't share
I know,
Wonderlist.
she is.
I am the poster child
Yes,
for
she is.
Wonderlist. Okay, let me just share for a second. Just
Yeah.
okay.
go.
Look it up. It's WUNDERLIST. Okay? It's they say it's going away and Microsoft bought it and nobody's going to be using it anymore, but they haven't done that yet, and it's been like a year and a half. So I'm kind of hoping that they will not get rid of it. Basically what it is, it's a to-do list at its basic core. But it also schedules your to-dos. It also, you can email to-dos to it. That's my favorite part,
And
because
it also
how
adds
many
it
of
to
us,
your calendar as well. So
yes,
it's not like,
how many of you get emails and they sit in your inbox until you get them done because somebody asked you to do something? I have that all the time. I get people asking me to do something in my inbox, and before I had Wonderlist, they would sit there and nag me in the head, and it would drive me insane. So now I email them to my Wonderlist, I schedule when it's due, and I forget about it. And it puts all of that email into the notes part of the list. And you can assign
and the
things.
attachments. If there are attachments on the email, it will dump those in.
It'll attach the attachments. I can assign things to the people that work with me, and then put due dates on there. When they check them off, it lets me know so that I know it's finished. I mean, you guys can do that with your church members, with your pastor. Assign them things to do, and they have to do it, or else they haven't done it.
And there's also
So-
a to-do list within that to-do list.
Yes, so
So
if
if
it's
there's
like-
a multitask to getting something done, you can list that stuff out. And so you can also keep track of where they are on that specific
Yes.
item.
It is
And
lovely.
you can invite people to different lists. So if you invite, this table to one list and this table to another list, they're not going to be able to see the other one. Does that make sense? So you can
Share your lists, yeah. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. I'll tell you, it has changed my life. Because before I had Wonderlist, I had a
Legal
yellow tablet on my desk that was like 4 pages full of things to do. Plus I had my emails that all came in. Plus I had another list that would send it told me things that you had to do or whatever. It put all of that in my desk. And I cannot tell you how much I love it. If I could get paid to talk about it, I'd be very rich right now because I talk about it all the time. So anyway, look it up. It definitely is a game changer.
Well, and I couldn't see her to-do list, and she couldn't see my tablet that was on my desk. So this
So
just
I thought he
allows
wasn't
us.
doing anything. No, just kidding. Kidding. He does a lot.
But
a
the
lot.
last thing on the slide is we get absolutely no sleep.
Yes, no sleep.
No sleep.
Plus, I have 2 little kids, so that helps too. So that is basically the end of our presentation. If there are any questions, we'd be happy to answer those at this point. This is our information, and we are available to you. However we can help, we would be glad to.